All right, Mr. Chair and members of the commission, we are now live.
Good evening. My name is Robert Sutton, and I am the chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. And this is the February 8, 2023 meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission. And I'd like to start by having commissioners and staff introduce themselves, starting on my left.
Zara Nasser.
Jeffrey Haynes.
Karen Burdett.
Cristina Arado.
Michael Galway.
James Doman.
Rebecca Ballo, Historic Preservation Staff.
Dan Bruckert, Historic Preservation Staff. And Michael Kine is also with the Historic Preservation Staff.
Thank you. I'd like to begin with the projects that we think can be expedited. Have the projects for this meeting been advertised?
Yes, they have. They were advertised in the January 25th edition of the Washington Times.
Thank you. So the first project is number 1A at 26 Pine Avenue, Tacoma Park. Second is 1B at 9 West Kirk Street, Chevy Chase. Next one is 1C at 9333 Watkins Road, Gaithersburg. And number 1D at 7209 MacArthur Boulevard in Bethesda.
Mr. Chair, hearing no objections, I move that we approve the following historic area work permits in accordance with the staff reports based upon the record before us and in consideration of the recommendations of the local advisory panels and with any conditions recommended by staff. HOP number 1017988 at 26 Pine Avenue, Tacoma Park. HOP number 1018710 at 9 West Kirk Street, Chevy Chase. HOP number 1018482 at 9333 Watkins Road, Gaithersburg. And HOP number 1008960, that's a revision, at 7209 MacArthur Boulevard, Bethesda.
Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. All these have been approved. Thank you for bringing projects to us that we can easily approve, and we look forward to seeing the end result soon. Thank you. The second item on our agenda is a preliminary consultation 2A at 7421 Cedar Avenue, Tacoma Park. Is there a staff report?
Yes, there is, Mr. Chair. Just give us 1 second to load it. There we go. This is the preliminary consultation for 7421 Cedar Avenue in Tacoma Park. It was constructed circa 1918. It is a contributing resource to the Tacoma Park Historic District. This is a corner property that the house faces Cedar Avenue. However, the building that we're going to be discussing this evening, the detached garage, faces Old Philadelphia and Philadelphia Avenue. So it's still a street-facing elevation, but it's not facing Cedar Avenue. Again, the standards of review for this project are Chapter 24A, the Tacoma Park Design Guidelines, and the Secretary of the Interior's Standards for Rehabilitation. The applicant proposes to rehabilitate the existing garage and convert it into an accessory dwelling unit, and the proposed alterations include a garage door replacement, window replacement, door removal, siding replacement, and window installation. Just to familiarize yourself with the property, the particular building, it has a CMU foundation. I don't know what the second story, if that's just wood framed. The applicants are here and they can fill that in, but it's covered in asbestos shingling on the upper level. Just an oblique view. You can see it's closer to the street than the property to the left, and you can see the steel windows on the side. The floor plan of the proposed ADU with the garage door replaced with a single door and 3 windows. On the right, there is a door that provides access that will be blocked in. This is the proposed front elevation with the new porch covering the new entrance and a window in the second floor where the shutters are currently. So the garage date of construction is unknown. The property somehow is omitted from the Sanborn fire insurance maps. It's actually where two pages come together. So even the ones that we paid for from the Sanborn Fire Insurance Company are incomplete, unfortunately. However, based on the condition of the CMU block and the horizontal window pane orientation in the steel windows, it was likely constructed post-World War II. Staff finds that the garage contributes to the character of the streetscape, though its materials are not historic. And staff is fully supportive of converting the garage into an ADU and finds that the building could support some second-story dormers without detracting from the character of the streetscape. That's not proposed within the scope of work. That was just a finding that staff made in evaluating the proposal. The existing garage door is a contemporary feature and may be removed. Staff finds that the proposed replacement windows and doors have a residential character. So staff does seek the HPC's recommendation on the appropriateness of the window and door configuration on the street-facing elevation. Staff finds the proposed porch, supported by brackets with exposed rafter tails, is in keeping with the character of the house, and staff fully supports blocking in the side door. Staff's findings with the proposed vinyl-clad windows are that they are an inappropriate replacement for the steel and recommends either aluminum-clad or wood windows be replaced. I recognize that this is a accessory structure to a contributing resource, but still thinks that the high visibility warrants a higher level than the vinyl-clad windows. Staff finds that the asbestos siding may be removed without detracting from the character of the building. However, staff has consistently argued that hardy shingles have too narrow of a profile to be a compatible substitute for wood shakes, and recommend that either wood shake or board and batten siding, either wood or fiber cement would be a more appropriate material in those locations. So staff requests feedback in 4 primary areas: the appropriate treatment for the existing garage door, the appropriate material for the replacement windows, acceptable siding materials, and the appropriateness of expanding the second floor should the applicant desire to do so. And with that, I will answer any questions that the HPC has.
Any questions for staff? Okay. If not, I will welcome the owner and representatives to come forward. The 2 names that I have here are Dana Hayden and Pat Hanrahan. Okay, so, okay. If you could also introduce yourselves and give your names on the microphones there. There's a button that you can push, and when the light comes on.
You just filled out even though I won't speak?
No. I don't know, do we need to?
If she's not going to speak, we don't need a
Yeah,
speaker
if you're not going to
form.
speak, no.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
So I'm Dana Hayden, and I'm the architect that was working with them on this project.
Okay.
I will also note that we have already been to the zoning board because this is non-conforming for a residential unit because it has accessory building setbacks, and they have allowed us to move forward. So this was our next stop.
Okay. If you'd like, I'll give you 7 minutes if you want to do a presentation on this, or we can answer questions, whatever your preference.
I will say that I made a mistake, and after I sent it off to you, I did remember that you all were now no vinyl, so, of any kind. So we are completely amenable to the wood windows or the aluminum clad. And I don't know if anybody had any concerns, but I did design the windows to have a little bit of a relationship to the original house instead of the metal ones. We pursued at one point this being a 2-story ADU, but the top story of this structure is their only storage. So they would like to continue to use the outsized stair and to keep that separate. Again, with the shingles, we're pretty open. We could consider, you are not interested in the hardy plank ones because they're too thin? Is that the reasoning?
Well, we'll ask those questions and give you our opinions when we get to that point.
Okay, all right. Well, he did a really great job of bringing it forward, and it is pretty simple, so I don't know that I have anything else to add.
Okay. Are there any questions? Anyone have any questions? Commissioner Doman?
Staff alluded to the possibility that they're open to a dormer on the second level. This is something you're considering or not? No,
No.
you shook your head no.
No.
Okay.
He was just, and my understanding was just saying if we thought we would want to do that, and we actually did start out that way, but came back to deciding that the accessible unit, they have some friends and neighbors in the neighborhood who are really looking for an accessible unit, so a second story wasn't really going to work for us, and it would lose storage.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you. We will now give you our deliberations, what we think about this project. And let me just say, this is something that we do that I don't know of a lot of preservation commissions that do this. We'll give you our opinion. We'll tell you what we think needs to be done or not done. You're not required to do what we suggest. I will say, though, that often it's not a bad idea to do some of the things we suggest when you come for a historic area work permit. So we will give you our feedback, and then we'll look forward to hearing from you later. So anyone like to kick this off, start off with this? Commissioner Burdett.
I actually have no problem with any of the proposals with this project. I think this is exactly what the ADU movement is supposed to be about, is taking an existing structure and adapting it appropriately to new use. And again, it's not a historic property, but you've managed to make it look to blend in with the rest of Tacoma Park, which is admirable. And it'll be good to get somebody in there and, with street access and neighbors and all of that. So yeah, I can support this when it comes through as a HOP. Thank you.
Anyone else? Commissioner Doman.
I'm just curious, and I guess this is our consultation, but if this is just a garage, I assume that there's no water or sewage hookup to this.
No, we have
And
to
I
bring
assume that
in.
there's no electrical hookup, even though that's not part of the historic preservation purview.
It has electric, but no water.
No water, so you
Yeah.
have other work to do besides the
Yeah.
design work.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Comments?
No, I was just I agree with Commissioner Burdett. I think this was one of the easy ones. I kind of agree with her, and I am happy this is you're not proposing something out of proportion or anything inappropriate. So I fully support it.
How about if I put it like this? Does anyone have any objections they'd like to note? I think we're all in favor of it. I think with the staff suggestions, if you're comfortable with the staff suggestions, I think that we're comfortable with that. And unless I hear
think the only
anybody.
thing we weren't comfortable with was a comment about board and batten. Did I misread, or was that a thought? And
It was a thought. If I can sort of elaborate, so the Hardy shakes typically have a very, very narrow profile. That's like 1/4 of the depth, the width of a honest to God cedar shake.
Right.
And we've found over the instances where it's been installed, it's too thin of a profile to be a compatible replacement. But there is sort of a world of other things that we would be supportive of. And I just kind of threw out, there is a shingle that matches the appearance of an asbestos shingle without asbestos in it, which would be an in-kind replacement, which we would be fine with. But I was thinking about, well, what else is out there, particularly in fiber cement, if that was a material that you were seeking. And using hardy panels is a relatively easy thing to accommodate. But I think that from a staff perspective, we would be open to a number of different materials and configurations. you sort of picked, or the notes were sort of the one thing that we would not be supportive of.
Right.
So, and there are other fiber cement shingles that we have supported. Again, it's just, look at the depth, the quarter inch or whatever it is for the hardy is just too narrow.
No problem.
So I think with that, we look forward to having this project come forward. If you have any questions, staff has always and always will be very happy to help with bringing this forward as a hub. So we look forward to seeing this very soon, and good luck with it.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Next item on the agenda are minutes from January 25th, which I believe are not quite available yet. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The minutes for January 25th are not quite ready. We will have those for you at the February 22nd meeting.
Okay, thank you. Any commission items? Any staff items?
No, Mr. Chair.
Well, with that, I call the meeting adjourned. And I didn't quite